Welcome to Medicare Moments. I'm Katherine Watson, and I'm your host today. And I'm here with Toni King. So we are happy to be here with Toni. She is the Medicare expert. If you're in Houston, Texas, you probably know who Toni is. But if you're watching this show from somewhere else, you've got to get to know this lady. She has written several books. She's written the Medicare Survival Guide and the Prescription Drug Survival Guide, 2 books you can find on her website, and I'll be giving you a link to that a little bit later. But Toni also does she has a syndicated column on over 100 newspapers across the nation. So check your newspaper to see if Toni is there. And if she's not, you might want to see if they can get Toni's column in their newspaper, because she answers your questions about Medicare. And Toni has a wealth of information. So Toni, thanks for coming on the show and doing this. It's so helpful to everybody out there that's trying to figure out this Medicare maze.
Well, Katherine, thanks for being here. And you're the reason why we put this together, because you know how to make this pop on Facebook and bring us out to the people.
Absolutely. Well, we're certainly trying to get the word out, because Toni does have a lot of good information. And the great thing is she's not trying to pigeonhole you into one particular plan, because she works with all the plans. And so she's able to give you a wealth of information based on what needs you have. And everybody's needs are a little bit different, right, Toni?
Oh, definitely. We say Medicare is not cookie cutter. One size does not fit all.
The
insurance companies want you to think that you're the same as your neighbor next door, so they can just sell the whole neighborhood that one Medicare Advantage plan. But you are not the same.
That's right.
Today, I think we're talking about what happens when you go into a nursing home or a skilled nursing facility.
Or an assisted living. Either.
But people need to know the rules are changing. They changed 2 years ago in 2017. You now have what's called the MOON effect, the MOON, the Medicare Outpatient Observation Notice, where when you go in the hospital, slip and fall, you break your hip, whatever your situation is, you have a stroke, a heart attack, for the first full days, 2 days, you are in as an outpatient. You are not formally admitted in the hospital. And formally admitted are the buzzwords for getting Medicare to pay for a skilled nursing facility. So if you were never admitted in that hospital, you slipped and fall, your mom broke her hip, or you had a situation and you're going, I can't have my husband come home. I can't pick up this 250-pound man. I don't know what to do. And they suggest that he needs to go into a skilled nursing or a rehab facility. Guess how much you have to pay? You're now going to have to pay 100% of that, because he was never, or your mom was never formally admitted. Yeah, and that gives you 2 days in the hospital as an outpatient. But you have to spend 3, you've heard of the midnight stays, 3 full midnight stays. That means 3 full 24 hours formally admitted with the 4th day discharged for Medicare to pay for your skilled facility. That doesn't start anything if you need a long-term care need. It's just terrible what's going on now, because Medicare has to save dollars to help pay for healthcare reform. I am sorry. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
It
is. And Toni, I want to clarify something, because I know a lot of families I've talked to are confused when we say long-term care, because a lot of times the hospital talks about going to a rehab for long-term care, but in a adult child's mind, we're thinking long-term means they're going to be there for years. That kind of stay at a rehab facility that Medicare does pay for, if you qualify, if you've had the 3 midnight stays,
and you meet
that
the
kind of care is only going to be what, about 20 or 30 days, right?
If you're not improving because you've got too much pain in your hip or too much pain in your back and you just can't seem to do it, you're going home. You have to be improving to stay. You got to get up. You got to exercise for Medicare to pay for it. Medicare's not going to sit there and babysit you.
No.
You got in the game.
One thing I want to point out too, if you have an aging parent and they have some dementia, maybe they may refuse to go to physical therapy while they're in the rehab, and they will get kicked out. So you need to make sure that you or someone is there monitoring and encouraging them, because the nurses in the facility don't have the time. And the caregivers there, they're strapped really thin, and they don't have the time to really encourage somebody that says they don't want to go to physical therapy to actually go. But if your parent refuses and doesn't go because they're tired, or they just don't feel like it, or they don't think they need it, or whatever the case may be, then they could very well get kicked out, and you're sitting there trying to figure out, what do I do next? Because one thing that a lot of families don't understand is Medicare is not going to pay for an assisted living facility, for a home care company to come in, for a nursing home for a long term, for years. They're not going to pay for that. Or personal care home. They don't pay for any of that.
That's right.
And the cost, Toni, let's talk about the cost a little bit. It's quite pricey.
These people, this is just today's cost. Right now, the average stay in a facility is anywhere from $60,000 to $85,000 a year. Okay.
Yeah.
What is it going to be like in the next 20 years? You're looking at it costing over $176,000 in 20 years, a year. And nobody, your kids can't take care of you. Everybody's working. You're trying to do the best you can. And the hardest thing for the kids is realizing they become the parent. I'm my mom's parent.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't know how to write a check anymore. Yeah. She barely knows how to sign her name on the check. And it's happened very fast. Mm-hmm. And you can be surprised. It's happening everywhere. And we need to learn how to let them still be in the lead. But you've got to manipulate them into doing, let's go outside. Let's go walk around the block. Get them up and start moving.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't take our direction very well. So,
yeah. So Toni, if you are, say, 40, 50 years old, and you're maybe starting to see this with your grandparents, or maybe even your parents, where they're needing a lot of extra care and it's costing a lot, and you're thinking, oh, wow, what's going to happen when I get to be 65? What would your solution be? Do you have any suggestions for people like this?
They can email us at info@tonisays.com, and we can give them information. We can help them try to put a plan together for someone who's 50, 60, 70 years old. Maybe they're retiring and they don't know what to do. They've put it off, and now they can't qualify for a long-term care plan. They're not giving this away. Now you're an insulin-dependent diabetic. What are you going to do? I mean, it doesn't take much to get it to where you don't qualify. These long-term care companies have realized that people are living longer. So once someone gets to be past 70, past 80, those rates start skyrocketing.
Yeah,
and they want you to drop the plan. They've already gotten the money out of you that they want. And they want you to drop the plan. So there's different things that you can do. There's a traditional long-term care policy. There are now hybrid policies. There's life insurance with long-term care. You may not need the long-term care. You might not want to pay for a individual policy, but you need something, and you've got to have life insurance for yourself and your family to leave something to them. Well, there's ways that you can get 2 and 3 and 4 times that amount of that life policy towards long-term care. If you never lose it, you haven't lost anything. You've still got the life insurance. There's a lot of different plans out there that people need to look at. You know, make sure talk to 2 and 3 different people. Make sure you're getting what the right plan, what best fits your needs, your health situation. That's what you need to do. That's what's most important. Don't you think?
I do. I agree. Toni, I just want to, for our podcast listeners, I want to give them that email address again. It's info at Toni Says, and that's TONISAYS.com.
Right.
So for our podcast listeners who can't see the screen here, I want to make sure that they get the information as well. Toni, anything else you want to say on this subject? Anything you want to?
Not that I can think of, really, but just take it one day at a time. And if you have a health situation, just let us know what it is, and we'd be glad to answer your questions. And realize Medicare is not going to pay for long-term care. So don't be surprised if you do have a situation and you are taking care of your mom because you didn't put a plan together. Yeah. We need to get everybody planning. You got to plan it just like you take your kid first day of school. You got to know what you're doing. Don't you think?
Exactly. And you cannot fly by the seat of your pants anymore. It's time to get a plan together and have options. The plan gives you options. And that's what we're really talking about with Medicare Moments, is we're talking about people having options.
And realize that what the cost is today is going to double and triple in 10 years because more people are having the need.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right. I appreciate it, Catherine. Thank you
for coming on the show, and thanks for having all this great information to share with everybody. Everybody go to the ToniSays.com website. Take a look around. You may also want to check out the ABBS website, which is Toni's second website. That's ABBS for you.com. It's a website where you can do your own research and take a course in Medicare. And believe me, you need a course in Medicare because there's so much information out there.
Toni, wait until we talk about the donut hole. They will really be walking fast on that if they're doing this walking and listening to a podcast.
I think maybe that will be the next one that we'll do, Toni. Okay. The donut hole. All right. Have a great day.
See y'all. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.